on our abdominals, or you can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your navel, and just a nice way for us to connect to our breath in this way. Okay, so any position on your back, legs can be any way you like them to be. And just take a few moments here just to arrive on your mat. Okay. Our busy lives, our busy days, schedules, okay, taking time to really be like, I'm here, I'm on my mat, I'm present, I have arrived, and just start to tune into your breath. Conscious on how you are breathing, okay? And this might be, one part of our day that we actually feel like we can breathe without restriction, right? So just notice, like, are you breathing out through your mouth a little bit? Are you having like a mix of breath? Is it easy to breathe in and out through your nose? Is it difficult? Okay, and then let's take some really like active, general sigh of relief exhales, okay? And again, if you're not comfortable making like a lot of noise, you don't have to. I'm going to because I just feel like it's a really nice release, okay? So we're gonna inhale in through our nose and a big sigh of relief out through your mouth. Good, inhaling in through your nose. Big sigh of relief out through your mouth. And then last one, inhaling in. Big sigh of relief out through your mouth. Okay, good. And then slowly begin to stretch out. Sorry, I'm giggling at myself because my exhale just is like so short, okay? And then extend your arms up over your head, your toes out nice and long, giving yourself a nice morning stretch, letting your rib cage expand and open up here. And then slowly bring your knees into your chest. You can use your arms here and just circle your knees together in just one direction, about 5 circles with your knees together. Again, just massaging that low back. Starting to find some movement in the hips, and then we'll reverse the circles, moving about 5 times in the opposite direction. Great, and then we'll take the knees and we'll separate them. Egg beater. So we'll separate the knees, circling them down and around, and again about 5 times in this direction. Good, and then we'll circle 5 times in the opposite direction. Good. Again, just making this, feel good for you, feeling it feel like a massage as you're moving back and forth. Okay, great. And then we'll place our feet onto the mat. And we'll have our feet about a hip distance apart, okay, or a little bit wider. I'm going to go as wide as my hips. And I'm just going to bring my arms out to the sides here. I'm just going to move in and out of a little window wiper here of like that internal, external rotation, just shifting back and forth. Good. And again, making this really feel like a massage for the low back and for the hips as well. So know that you don't have to move your knees all the way to the ground, okay? They can be lifted and you can move really in a subtle way or in a small way, as long as it feels supported and good in your body, okay? And then with that being said, okay, we're going to let our knees fall to the right when they're to the right, okay? And pause for a moment here in this twist. And again, you're welcome to stay here, or you can take your right ankle and cross it up and over your left knee. Okay, just adding a little bit, again, of just like a little bit of resistance or pressure on that left knee, okay? And again, only if it feels okay. And then release that foot. And then we'll slowly switch to the other side. So knees will gently fall to the left. You're welcome to stay right here. This is perfect. Or you can take this left ankle and cross it over your right knee. Okay, again, just adding a little bit of weight. Okay, awesome. Slowly release your foot. Bring your legs back to the center. Okay, and then we're gonna do 3 different bridges. Okay, so bring your ankles under your knees in line with your hips, so everything's hip distance apart. And as you reach your arms down by your side, see if you can maybe touch the backs of your heels. So we're pretty like tight in our bridge pose here. Okay, we're gonna press down to the backs of our legs. And this is like a traditional way of like how a lot of yoga teachers teach bridge pose. We're gonna puff up our chest just a little bit. So you wanna think about walking your shoulder blades underneath you and just lifting up your chest first. Okay, so it's like your upper back's lifted a little bit. From here, ground into your hands, ground into your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky. Okay, we're really pressing into the shoulder blades. Notice like what parts of your body are you using to keep your hips lifted. Okay, so I like to touch myself. Okay, so I'm like, ooh, my glutes are activated, my hamstrings are working. I also feel this in my quads. Okay, so you're welcome to, you know, like touch yourself, like, okay, like my abs are kicking in. Okay, you can kind of poke, or you can, again, just, you know, really press your arms down and observe like what you're feeling. Okay, we're going to do this just a few times, so you'll have plenty of time to feel what's activated and what's not. Exhaling, slowly lower down with control. Okay, and again, resetting if you need to. Okay, double checking that you can touch your heels, puff up your chest, press your backs of your shoulder blades into the mat. On your inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky. And again, just notice what parts of your legs are you using? Hamstrings, glutes, okay? Do you feel your abs at all, or do you feel open, okay? Is your chest puffed up? Good, inhale in here, exhaling, lower down with control, okay? Last one, again, any resets here? Press into your feet, press into the backs of your arms, lift your hips up towards the sky. Bridge pose. Good, nice full deep breath. Think about the backs of your legs. What are you using? Good. And exhaling, lower down with control. Okay. Now from here, we're going to keep our legs and everything in line with our hips. So everything will be hip distance apart, but we're going to move our feet a little bit away from us. Okay. So I'm just going to scrunch my toes and move my feet. So my heels are more like in line under my knees. Okay, so they're a little bit more forward, not as close to my hips. Okay, and from here, we're gonna press the backs of our arms into the mat, and we're gonna I'm gonna cue this one a little bit different. So we're gonna focus on curling up and down through our spine. So we're really thinking about our abdominals, helping lift us up. The backs of the legs will work as well too. And we won't go up as high. We're going to keep the bottom part of our rib cage knitted or sealed up. So you'll be more out of a diagonal angle downwards rather than like a back bend. Okay, so arms pressed down. Okay, we're going to tuck the tailbone under like we're curling up like a shrimp. We're going to peel up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow with control. And once our hips, you know, are lifted, they'll probably not be higher than your knees. Okay, we go imagine that they're moving that height. And then the bottom part of your rib cage is sealed together. So we're not arching up through our upper back. We want to keep that nice and tight. Okay, and then just notice which parts of your legs you're using. Maybe more hamstring. Okay, different part of your glutes. Okay, I feel this like way less in my knees and in my quads. I really feel the backs of my legs working. Let's stay for the inhale. And then on your exhale, we're going to peel down one vertebrae at a time, starting with like, you know, between the shoulder blades. Don't forget the parts of your spine that are a little bit harder, like the low back, to peel one vertebrae at a time down. Good. And then coming back to that neutral position. Tailbone tucks under, lifting up through the hips, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. And again, you know, we're a little bit more like at a slope. We're not quite in this big upper back bend. It's really about the hamstrings and the glutes firing up. Ribs are knitted in, so your core is a little more active. Okay, yeah. Keep breathing. Woo, I'm really feeling this in my, where my hamstring and my glutes connect. Okay, let's stay for another inhale. Exhaling, gently peel down one vertebrae at a time. You can even think about lifting your belly button into your spine. So you're really feeling that support through your back. Okay, good. One more time, just like this, 3 times. Okay, curling up like a little shrimp, curling your tailbone, peeling up nice and slow, pressing into your feet, pressing into your arms. Okay, and then, you know, a little lower than the first round. Ribs are sealed. Backs of the legs really kicking in. Breathing here. Holding here, but don't forget to breathe. Okay, let's stay for the inhale. Exhaling, peeling down one vertebrae at a time. Go slow, nice and gentle and easy. Good. Okay, this third round, right? We're going to move our feet out about as wide as our hips or as wide as our mat. Okay, I'm going to kind of go a little bit in between, not quite as wide as the mat, but to the outside of my hips. Okay, and when you look at your knees, make sure your knees are going in the direction that your toes are going, right? So your legs will probably be more like a V position rather than like parallel, okay? And that's okay, they're going to be a little bit wider, that's fine. We're going to press down into our arms. We're just going to lift our hips up. So just press your hips up towards the sky, press into the backs of your legs. And then you just take note, like, what are your ribs doing? Are you puffing up and expanding your rib cage? A little bit harder to do in this position for me personally, but you may be able to like really expand your ribs, or you may want to keep them knitted in. That's fine. I want you to choose what feels best. And then just like notice how your legs are responding to this wide leg bridge pose, okay? Good. Let's stay for the inhale. Exhaling, lowering right back down again with control, nice and slow. Okay, let's do that again. Inhaling, lift the hips up. Press into the backs of your arms. Press into the inner edge of your feet, the outer edge of your feet. Double check that your knees are not folding in, that they're really, you know, still pressing out in line with like where your toes are directed. Notice like your glutes. Are you using your hamstrings, maybe your quads more? And exhaling, slowly lower right back down, nice and slow. Okay, last one. Okay, 3 times the charm. Inhaling, lift your hips up. Press into your feet, press into the backs of your arms. Nice, full deep breath. Good. Stay for the inhale. Exhaling, slowly lower down with control, nice and gentle. Okay, good. And then right from here, we're going to move into happy baby pose. Okay, you can grab behind the knees, the ankles, or the outer edges of your feet. So we're pretty much like right away in that position anyways. So knees are on the outside of your ribs. You can gently shift from side to side. Oh, this actually felt really good for me on my low back today. Good. Okay. All right, just a few more grounded things before we come up to standing. Okay, so let's go ahead and lower our legs back down onto the mat. Okay, I'm gonna bring, without using my hands, I'm gonna bring my right knee into my chest. And then my left leg, I'm gonna extend out nice and long, but you're welcome to keep it bent if you'd like. Okay, and again, without using your hands here, we're going to circle the knee and the hip 5 times in one direction. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to circle in the opposite direction 5 times. Okay, good. Let your leg, be relaxed, be heavy here. Okay, good. And then let your knee and leg just come back to neutral, hands behind the head here. Okay, we're going to lift up into a little ab crunch, and we're going to bring our left elbow towards our right knee. Okay, so take a nice big deep inhale in here. Exhaling, lift up, elbow towards your knees. You're crossing your body. Good. And you're going to come back to the center. Right leg can go straight if you want, or you can keep it bent. And then we're just going to cross. We're just doing this 5 times. Okay. So elbow towards your knees, lift up, and then straighten back out. Good. Exhaling, pull in. Here's 3. Elbow towards your knee. Reach out and lengthen. Good. Here's 4. And lengthen. Last one. 5. And lengthen. Good. Knee into your chest. And then coming into half happy baby pose. So grabbing the outer edge of your right foot or ankle or behind the knee for half happy baby pose. Okay. Good. Okay. And again, we're going to do the same thing on this next side. Okay. But, you kind of make this harder. It's like doing the bicycle. We're just doing one-sided bicycle abs here. Okay. Good. Before we go to that left side, we're going to add just a twist. So bring that right knee all the way across to the left side. Right arm reaches out to the right. And a nice gentle twist here. Whew. Okay. Notice, are your shoulders down? Does your right knee want to touch the ground? Are your hips stacked on top of each other? Okay, just taking note, just like how you're naturally just twisting and what's feeling good in your body here. Okay. I've been really thinking about when I'm twisting the top leg, okay, for us, which is the right leg. I've been really thinking about the right hip. I'm always trying to press it a little bit away from my ribs so I create more space through my side body and through my waist. So that's just a nice little adjustment there. Good. Take a nice big deep inhale in here. Exhaling, we'll slowly release, coming back to the center, okay? And then we'll start that little series again, okay? So left knee into your chest, no arms, as best as you can, okay? Right leg can straighten. And then 5 little hip stirs in one direction. Good. 5 more in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Coming back to the center, hands behind your head. And then we're going to curl up and twist right elbow towards your left knee. Okay, so take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhale, twist, lift up, and extend out. Good. Inhaling in, exhaling, twisting, just 5 of these. Good. Here's 3. Here's 4. Curl up nice and high. Last one. 5. Twist and release. Good. And then slowly coming into half happy baby pose on that left side. And again, you can grab behind your knee, your ankle, or the outer edge of your foot, whatever feels good here. Good. Let's stay for the inhale. Exhaling, releasing to come into the twist. Left knee comes across to the right side of the body, left arm out to the left. And again, just checking in with your body. Woo, I got some cracks on that side, on this side. Any adjustments you need to take. Just noticing what it feels like when your knee's heavy, when your shoulders are heavy. How is the twist really, working for you, for what you need for your low back, okay? Awesome. Okay, good. And then we're gonna just make our way up to all fours, okay? And I'm literally just gonna roll over onto my right side to come up onto all fours. You are welcome to come back to neutral and rock forward and backwards, okay? And then, make your way up into tabletop, but just take your time, whichever way you want to do it, okay? I was like, I'm kind of already there. I might as well just roll over. Okay, so hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and we'll just start to move in and out of cat and cow just right away. Toes can be tucked under or pointed back. Okay, and then I also want you to add anything that feels good here, organically stretching from side to side, head and neck circles, hip circles, okay. Any movement that feels organic and natural in your body, go for it, okay? And also know you don't have to move through everything. You can really pause and stay before you move on to the next thing, okay? something I've been working on, not just like moving. Okay, just taking those moments to like, oh, I'm gonna stay here for a while. I'm gonna stay here for a few breaths to see what it really feels like. Awesome. Okay, everybody, when you're ready, we're gonna make our way into downward facing dog. So just take your time, okay? And this, can really act as like our calf stretch, our hamstring stretch, okay? So definitely feel free to pedal your feet out, sway your hips from side to side. And again, don't feel like you have to move. Maybe, bend the left knee and stay there for a few deep breaths and then switch, and then stay for a while. So you get a nice lengthen, stretching sensation and feeling. Okay. Yeah. Great. Okay, find a little bit of stillness here. We're just going to pause in our neutral downward dog for 3 deep breaths. I know 5 is kind of traditional. We'll do 3 today. Okay, so inhaling in through your nose, exhaling out. Inhaling in through your nose, exhaling out. Last one, inhaling in, exhaling out. Looking up at your hands, gently traveling to the top of your mat. Take your time. Then just hang on to opposite elbows. Gently rock from side to side. Awesome. Release your arms. Bend your knees and slowly roll up to come all the way up to standing. Take your time. Arms will reach up over your head. And exhaling, hands at your heart center. Okay, we're gonna start our little flow here right away, okay? So we're gonna come into single leg mountain pose. Right knee's gonna lift up towards your chest. If you can, reach your arms up over your head, okay? Good. Okay, and then again, just a little active twisting here, okay? We're gonna bring our left arm forward, right arm back, okay? And again, you're welcome to have your foot down if your balance is off. You can bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee as you twist here, okay? Good. And again, it can just be low, it can be high, okay? Let's take a few more deep breaths here. Go nice and slow. I know it's a lot to start off with right away. Good. Arms back up over your head. Stepping back, high lunge. Again, one big step, 5, 10 baby steps. That's totally fine. You're gonna come back into your first high lunge. Arms are gonna reach up over your head here, okay? Good. And for just a moment, I want you to really focus on this back leg, the right leg. So you might have to shorten the stance a little bit and maybe even have to bend your right knee. But I just want you to feel like this nice big stretch through the front of your hip and your psoas here, okay? Good. Breathe here. Hands behind the head, okay? I'm going to shift a little bit forward here, okay? So I'm kind of pressing into my right heel. I'm going to be right up on the ball mount of my foot, so I kind of press forward. And then same thing we just did. We're going to inhale to lengthen, right elbow towards your left knee, and it may not touch, but just kind of going in that direction, and then lifting right back up about halfway or all the way, okay? And then just crossing over. 2, we're just doing this 5 times, okay? 3, and up. Here's 4, twisting, and release. Last one, 5, twist, rise back up. Lower your hands around your left foot, okay? We're going to drop the back knee down for low lunge, okay? I know a lot, again, okay? So dip the hips, roll the shoulders, lift the chest and the heart, okay? Arms can reach up over your head when you're ready, okay? And only if you want to. Good. Nice, full deep breath.
Okay, awesome. Again, sending that focus into that right hip flexor. Good. Let's lower the hands down if they're not there already and straighten the left leg coming into half split. Okay, toes can flex up towards the sky. Okay, great. Okay, good, everyone. Okay, so let's stay for about 2 more deep breaths here in this neutral hamstring stretch. Okay, you can think about, instead of thinking of like nose towards your knee, you can think about arching up through your back a little bit. You might get a little bit different stretch to the back of the hamstring. Okay, you can think about like really arching. Good. And then again, you're welcome to stay here, or you can choose to bring your hands to the outside of your left leg. Okay, and just angle your body, your torso ever so slightly to the left diagonal and see how this stretch feels. Does it feel the same? Does it feel different? Do you need to reach farther? Do you need to point your toe? Okay, you can change it up here for this hamstring stretch with a little bit slightly different angle, okay? Okay, great. Okay, let's make our way back to the center. Walk your hands around your left foot. We're going to bend into this left knee. Okay, we're going to step forward, forward fold. Take your time. Again, one giant step, baby steps, okay? All are welcome, everything that you need, okay? Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, fold forward, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly rise up to come up to standing. And exhaling, hands at your heart center, okay? And we'll start that little series again, okay? Single leg mountain pose. Left leg lifts up. And again, this can be low. Your toes can be on the ground. That's fine, okay? Your foot can maybe hover. Maybe your knee comes to your chest. It doesn't have to, okay? We're just practicing balancing, okay, that twisting, this high lunge variation, okay, right on our one leg. And we're gonna add a twist. Right hand forward, left arm back, okay? And again, arms can stay floating, or you can bring your right hand against the side of your left knee and twisting here and balancing here. Again, toes can be down if they have to be. Good, a few more deep breaths. Good. Rising back up to center, taking your time to step back, high lunge. Okay, take your time. And again, this doesn't have to be your deepest lunge, okay? We wanna really just focus on that back leg, the left leg. So we're getting a nice stretch through the hip flexor. And again, of course, balance. Your arms can be anywhere. You can use chairs. You can grab onto, I can grab onto my radiator. Anything you need, okay? Knee can be bent. Good. Okay, good. And right now, I'm kind of sitting back a little bit in my lunge, okay? Like I'm like really cozy and comfy here. I could stay here for, I don't know, 20 breaths or something, right? And we're just gonna change up the angle by just shifting forward a little bit. And that's just me pressing my heel over the ball mount of my toes, hands behind my head. Okay, and then we're just gonna do 5 little taps. And again, my elbow doesn't really touch my knee. I'm just twisting in that direction. And then coming back at a slight angle instead of straight up, okay? So exhaling, twisting, but you can come straight up if that feels better for you. And then back to center, okay? 3, and center, good. 4, back to center, and 5, okay? Woo, back to center, hands lower down, back knee lowers, low lunge. Oh yeah, arms can reach up over your head, right? We're just dipping the hips, rolling the shoulders, lifting the chest and the heart. And my hope was with that little exercise, you felt like the glutes fire up a little bit. Okay, and if they didn't, that's okay. They're still there, I promise, okay? A few more deep breaths here in this low lunge. Good, hands lower down, straightening the right leg, half split. Okay, good. And again, I'm flexing my toes for this like first round, and then when we walk our hands over, I'm kind of doing a little mix of pointing and flexing. But just stay for a moment, breathe. Okay, awesome. Okay, great. I'm gonna walk my hands to the outside of my right leg. Okay, you can reach your hands forward. Okay, you can point your toes. You can flex your toes, whatever feels good here for you, okay? Good, maybe both hands don't reach over to the right, but you're still angling yourself to the right, that's fine too, okay? I'm a little tight on this side, so it's hard for me to have both hands over to the right, but I can still initiate my torso to the right to help with the stretch. Okay, good. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's slowly walk our hands back to the center. We're gonna bend back into this right leg to step forward, forward fold. Okay, inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Slowly rise back up to come all the way up to standing. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Okay. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, stepping back. Okay, well, we're gonna take just like one vinyasa here. You're welcome to skip it if you'd like. We're gonna lower down halfway or all the way down, coming up into your choice of back bend. And actually, let's meet back onto our tummies, okay? So just lower down, bring your hands under your forehead. Let's bend our knees and just do some little gentle window wipers here. Prone, okay? On our stomachs. Good. Great. Okay, so go ahead and straighten your legs out. Okay, and you can keep your forehead down on your hands. You can have your chin on your hands, whatever feels best for like your head and your neck. Okay, but we're gonna keep our head out of this, and we're just gonna work on the legs here. So we're going to, with straight legs as best as you can, we're gonna reach the right leg up off the mat, and then lower it right back down. Left leg lifts. Lengthen it out, straighten it out a little bit more, and lower back down. Right leg lifts and lowers. Left leg lifts and lowers, okay? Right leg lifts and lowers down. Left leg lifts and lowers. Let's just do 2 more on each side, okay? So 5, rounds all together, and lower. Left leg lifts and lowers. Last one, 5, right leg lifts and lower. Left leg lifts and lowers down. Good. You're welcome to stay here, or you can add a little bit more of a back bend here. I'm going to come up into Sphinx pose. Elbows, under my shoulders. I'm up on my forearms. And we're going to do that same thing, just 5 on each side. We're just going to lift and lower the legs, okay? And again, you're welcome to bring your hands back under your forehead and lower down, okay? So we'll start with the right leg. We'll lift it up, hold it, and lower. Left leg lifts and lowers. Good. And again, double check. This might be like way too much for your low back, so you just go back to all the way down, okay? Or maybe you just don't lift your leg up as high. Check in with your abs. Good. Let's do 2 more on each side. This is my 4th one, and then 5. Lower and 5. Lower, good. Slowly lower down, hands under your shoulders. We'll press back, downward facing dog. Whew. Hello, glutes. Okay, everyone, just take some nice big deep breaths here in your downward dog. Okay, awesome. All right, I'm just going to meet halfway here. So I'm going to walk my feet in, halfway, my hands in halfway, and then just standing forward fold in like the middle of my mat. Okay, and let's just interlace our hands behind our back and roll our shoulders up and over, just coming into a chest expansion here. So we get into the chest a little bit. Exhaling, release your arms down, and then we'll slowly rise up to come back up to standing, nice and slow, nice and gentle. Okay, good. We're going to turn to the long edge of our mat, and we'll come on out into star pose. Okay, so I'm just double checking as I'm aligning myself up here that, you know, my toes are in line with each other here. And as I begin to turn my toes out, okay, you know, they're still in alignment with each other. Okay, and I'm reaching my arms out nice and wide. And then I'm going to bend my knees and bend my elbows coming into goddess. Okay, so I noticed I was a little too wide, so I'm going to bring my legs in a little bit more. Good. And let's just come back into that star pose, reaching out, expanding out, and then exhaling, bending your knees, bending your elbows. Good, reaching out, star pose. And exhaling, horse. Good. And then let's do one more, reaching out, star pose, and exhaling, goddess, horse, here. Good. Bringing your hands on top of your legs. Okay, and then I honestly don't really care if your shoulders are up by your ears. That actually feels really good to me. Okay, so you're welcome to have them up here. You're also welcome to drop them down. And all we're going to do is just drop our right shoulder in and release, and left shoulder in. And then again, you're welcome to go back and forth as many times as you want. You can also just, you know, do this twice or 3 times. Okay. Yeah, just get into the chest a little bit. You can also change up the hand position. So notice what it feels like to have your hands in, okay, towards your knees, or to have them out. If that changes things, maybe elbows bent. Does that make the stretch feel different? Yeah, just a little time to explore. Okay, good. Okay, and then when you're ready, we're going to rise on up. Okay, we're going to turn those toes back in. And again, just double check that they're in alignment with each other. Reaching your arms out nice and wide. Slowly start to fold forward. Pause halfway. Okay, inhale in. Exhale, slowly release and fold forward all the way down. Nice and slow here. Okay, and again, knees can be bent. Try to shift your weight a little bit more forward towards the balls of your feet. I know it's scary, but, you know, trust yourself that you know your balance, you know your body, you know when too far is too far that you're going to fall over, right? But you usually can catch yourself here. Okay, and then again, you're welcome to hang out here, okay, in the stillness. I'm going to add just a little figure 8s with my body. I'm going to bend like my right knee, let my spine and my head move towards there, and then my left. So I'm just going to do just like little figure 8s with my hips and let my spine kind of react. You can also do this by grabbing onto opposite elbows and like kind of swinging around a little bit, but make sure you're just doing it with control. So you're feeling all parts of your hamstrings, your hips, stretch and open here. Really nice, everyone. Checking in with your breath, letting this movement feel organic. Okay, even if it feels a little awkward. Good. Okay, really nice. Slowly bring your hands back under your shoulders. Okay, lift up about halfway. Arms out nice and wide again. Okay, we're lifting up in a nice long flat back. Maybe you pause again about halfway, but go nice and slow as you come all the way up to standing. Okay, good. And let's just bring our arms up over our head. I'm going to clasp my thumbs, and I'm going to gently just reach over to the right. Good. And if this doesn't feel good with your arms up like this, you can always release your hands, release one arm down,
Just a side body stretch, okay? Good. On your next inhale, rise up. Okay, switch the clasp of your thumbs, lift up, and then leaning over to the left. And again, if this is too much on your shoulders or your arms, you just release it. Just come into the side body stretch here. Okay, awesome. Lifting back up. Okay, great. And then slowly release your arms down. Okay, good. And then you just bring your legs together. Okay, good. And I'm going to stay facing this direction, but you're welcome to turn on your mat either way, okay? And check out your feet. Make sure they're about hip distance apart, okay? And I'm going to step my right foot forward. Hips are going to square. I'm setting this up for pyramid pose, okay? So a little more hamstring stuff. Okay, so check out your hips. Okay, let's interlace our hands behind our back. Roll your shoulders, lift your chest and your heart. And again, you're welcome to have your arms extend back, or you can have your hands connected to like your tailbone or low back here. And then we're just gonna fold, again, nice and slow, all the way down, folding forward over that right leg. All right, and I'm just hanging out here in this nice big pyramid pose, okay? Good. Okay, good. And your stance doesn't have to be long. Okay, it can be short so you feel stable. And then we're going to release our hands down to frame our right foot. Okay, we're going to add a twist here. Okay, so left hand's going to move into the inside of the right foot. Right hand is going to gently place on your low back. You're going to lift up halfway. Turn your right shoulder up towards the sky. So we're twisting towards that front leg, and we're gonna keep this right hand on our low back the whole time, okay? You're welcome to stay here, or this left hand can come up to your chest, okay? And again, I like to play a little bit with this like active stretching and passive stretching. So I like to like bring my hand up for like a breath, and then exhaling, lower my left hand back down. Good, and then just twisting here, extending out. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. Take a nice big deep inhale in, exhaling, release your hands down, and then slowly bring your hands on your hips to come back up to standing nice and slow. Take your time, okay? And then you can step your feet together anyway, forward or backwards, okay? And we're just gonna switch our legs out for our hamstrings, okay? Again, hip distance apart, left leg steps forward, right? So it doesn't step forward in front of your right leg. You wanna make sure it's a little bit wider. Okay, my right toes are slightly turned out, hips are square. Interlace your hands behind your back, roll your shoulders, and then we'll start to fold over this left leg, just nice and slow. Take your time. Okay, for the hamstring stretch. And again, you don't have to have your hands behind your back. If your like balance is feeling off, just lower your arms down because we're gonna meet there anyways, okay? Good. Yeah, lower your arms down, soften. And breathe, pyramid pose. Good, so we got this nice big like active twisting and stretching. Okay. All right, we're gonna add the twist here. Right hand into the inside of your left foot. Left hand joins your low back. Lift up about halfway. Roll the left shoulder up towards the sky so you start to stack the left shoulder on top of the right. Good, and again, keeping those hips square as possible. Staying here or letting your right hand lift up off the mat to your chest. And again, you can kind of move in and out of that if you'd like, a little active strengthening, stretching. Keep breathing. Okay, good. Let's stay for 2 more deep breaths here on this side. Last one, inhaling in, exhaling, releasing your hands. Join your hands onto your hips to slowly rise up to come up to standing, and then slowly just stepping your legs back together, shaking them out. Okay, good. Okay, and then we're going to take our mat
This is for the calf stretch that I forgot to do a couple weeks ago. We're going to take our mat and we're going to roll it up loosely so that we have something to step on for our calf stretch. And this is just going to be another little calf hamstring little stretch here. Okay, so I can kind of show you. I said loosely and then I ended up rolling up mine up really tight. It can be looser than this, okay, so that when you step on it, it kind of squishes, but it's just elevating the floor up. Okay, we're going to take the ball mounts of our feet on top of the mat. My feet are still going to be hip distance apart. Okay. And then again, this might be a big enough stretch for you. You may only want to do 1 foot at a time. That's fine. If it feels okay, both feet up, ball mounts on the feet up, knees are slightly bent, and then you can start to fold forward if you'd like, bringing your hands to the ground, a chair. Okay. This is a calf stretch and a hamstring stretch. Good. And as I'm doing this too, I even just like notice because my feet are on this angle, my hips like to be really far back here, but challenge yourself to keep bringing your hips and your weight forward towards the ball mounts of your feet. And that's where like the special stuff starts to happen. Okay. You'll feel probably a lot more like in your calves. You'll probably feel a lot more in your hamstrings. And honestly, it's a lot safer for you to be shifted more forward rather than back, right? So we're not overstretching hamstrings. We want to be a little bit more forward. Okay, good. Yeah, and please know that like your knees bent is like an amazing stretch. Legs do not have to be straight, okay? My knees are like generously bent here and I'm feeling a nice stretch in my calves, like a really nice stretch. Whew. And then you've been playing a little bit with like those little figure eights we took earlier. So you're welcome to kind of shift your hips from side to side. You can even let your spine, you know, reverberate, kind of, you know, react to your hips moving. And again, we want to move in like this nice, gentle, kind way. That feels good on our body, okay? Oh man, I want to stay here forever. It feels so good. Okay, but I want to get into one more little hippie thing, okay, before we run out of time. Okay, so everyone take a step off of your mat. So just gonna step back on your own 2 feet here, and then just rise up, just nice and gentle, okay? Good, okay? And then we're going to step our heels on the mat, okay? And I'm going to step just my heels, my ball mounts of my feet are on the mat, are on the ground, excuse me. I know I have like double mats here. So my toes are on the ground, my heels are on the lifted mat, okay? And I'm also gonna go a little bit wider, so I'm about shoulder distance. Toes can slightly turn out, and we're gonna come into Malasana here, okay? So I'm gonna start to bend my knees and lower my hips down, okay? You may notice like it's so much easier to do Malasana with your heels lifted. And if not, you can still stay lifted here, okay? Hands can be at your chest. Arms can be forward, okay? Whatever. Again, any variation that feels good for you here. I know this is pretty intense, okay? Good. Whatever you're choosing, choose your breath, okay? Engage your abdominals, whether you're lifted or rounded. Think about your belly button moving into your spine, okay? Good. And again, any variation here is welcome, okay? If you're upright, we're just gonna do little side bends. We're gonna let this left arm come down, and we're gonna reach this right arm up towards the sky. So it's like a nice open twist, okay? If you're rounded over, just walk your hands to the left. Oh, that feels so good too, okay? Good, stay for the inhale here. Exhaling, we're just going to switch sides. So you can walk your hands to the right or bring your right hand down. Left arm up towards the sky and looking up towards the sky if that feels good. Oh, Malasana. Good. And you know, if your hips are lifted up, you can still do the same thing, okay? Good. Let's lower down. Let's stay for about 2 more deep breaths here in just like this nice neutral position. Okay, and then all we're gonna do is just sit back, Okay, we're just gonna sit down. Okay, we're already like kind of here. And if you're welcome to roll your mat back out again, you don't have to. We're just gonna do just some seated stretches real quick here, okay? So I'm gonna start with my legs in Supta Baddha Konasana. And I'm gonna let my left leg reach out to the left. Okay, I'm gonna bring this right foot, I'm gonna attach it to my left inner thigh. Okay, arms reach up over your head, twisting towards your right knee. Okay, and my left hand is joined together with my right knee. Okay, I'm gonna reach this right arm up and over to the left, and I'm gonna start to lean over. So there's that side body stretch. Keep thinking about lifting your chest up towards the sky. And if this is too much on your arm, you can always bend your elbow, hand behind the head, or you can bring your hand to your shoulder. Okay, whatever feels good here for the side bend. Take a nice big deep inhale in here. Exhaling, slowly rise up. And then gently just turn towards your left leg, okay? And then just stretch towards your left foot, okay? Any degree, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Good. And I actually, to be honest with you all, I hate saying this, but like, I don't even feel this in my hamstring. I only feel this in my low back, like the right side of my back, okay? I might not be going as far, but I'm just so you know where I'm feeling it, not necessarily in my hamstring, okay? Sorry, I hate to say that. And my hamstrings are really tight too, okay? It's just like the angle of it, I think, okay? So let's rise on up. Just so you know, it's okay if you don't feel things where you think they're supposed to be, okay? And then we'll just switch sides, okay? So left leg comes in, right leg goes out. I'm just gonna attach my foot to my inner thigh. Arms reach up over your head, twisting towards your bent knee, twist towards the left. Whew. Okay, and then keep that right hand glued to your knee, and we'll reach this left arm up and over for this nice big side bend stretch. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. Lift the chest up towards the sky. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Ooh, I want to stay longer. Exhale out, rise up, and then gently turn towards that right leg. And again, just folding forward, maybe grabbing your toes or your ankle. Okay, good. Great. And then for me, again, like on this side, and this is just my observations. And I'm doing this to encourage you to kind of check in with your body. I'm still feeling it in that backside body, but I do feel it a little bit more in my hamstring, okay? And actually a little bit more in my inner thigh, also my right inner thigh. Okay, great. Okay, from here, let's slowly rise on up. Okay, bring your legs back together, and then just give them a nice little shake out here. You can even wag a little bit from side to side. Okay, good. Legs can be together or they can be separated a little bit here. Okay, we're gonna reach our arms up over our head and then gently just fold forward. Again, maybe grabbing your toes, maybe the outer edges of your feet, your pants, okay, your ankles. Good. And again, I have my mat still rolled up, so I'm just gonna slide it under my knees just to protect my low back. Again, anything you guys want to do is perfect. So stay as long as you like here in this forward fold. When you're ready, you're just going to make your way onto your back. Okay, but you're welcome to stay here. You can hang out here, it's totally fine. Okay, and we're just making our way onto our backs just to find this neutral position. Okay, just to find this reset, this realignment just in our bodies. And I've really been thinking a lot this week on my journey through my yoga practice
and not through not through the years, okay? More like through the minutes and the seconds, okay? So, you know, whether you have time to practice 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and, you know, gratefully we have this hour together, just, you know, observing your journey, observing sensations, observing transformation from, you know, the beginning of the hour till now. What's changed? What's stayed the same? And it doesn't all have to be rainbows, flowers, and butterflies, like the happiest stuff. It can be like, I'm really mad. I couldn't do something because I have pain somewhere. I have all this limitation, right? It doesn't have to be like, oh, everything's so wonderful. Okay, you know, you can check in like, oh man, I was thinking about my grocery list the whole time, you know, just observe everything. Okay, your thoughts, your breath, your body. Okay. And then take a nice big deep inhale in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth, let it all go. Good. Inhaling in, let all of that go, exhale out. One more, just like that, inhaling in. Big exhale out. And then just begin to just move in a way that feels good. Okay. Wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, circling your wrists, ankles. Okay, stretching your arms up over your head. Okay, moving in any way that feels good to you. And let that movement bring you on up into a seated position. Again, there's no rush. Please, please take your time. Okay, and sitting in a way that feels good also for you. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Okay. And just take a moment, you know, to check in again. Noticing transformation in your body. Being in gratitude for your practice and for your body and for showing up on your mat today. And slowly just begin to smile in honor of your practice, everyone. Namaste. Thank you. Shanti, everybody.